Alright guys, so this video is going to be all on how you can unleash appointment setters so that you can start monetizing and booking qualified sales calls and pre-nurture sales calls with people who are part of your Facebook group or your community funnel. The first thing that I would say is that before we dive into the video, if you want to get the document that I'm using right now in this video, make sure to actually join my free Facebook group with the link in the description. In case that you found this video randomly on the internet, this is video 4 or 5 in the actual sequence on how to grow, engage, and monetize a wildly profitable Facebook group, okay? And we already covered the north star of the group. We already covered how to fill your group with qualified buyers. I also talked about how you can actually create content that you can actually engage your community. This video is going to be now on how to actually use appointment setters and start booking meetings. So without further ado, let's just start with the process, okay? Like I mentioned in the previous video, you can use appointment setters in different opportunity channels, okay? And what I want to show you, let me actually find the part, okay, here it is. So when it comes to the appointment setting flows, the 3 ways or the typical ways that we and our clients use to actually monetize the Facebook group, okay? So the first one, inside of the Facebook group opportunity channels, you're going to have, whenever you have a new member, as a way for them to have a touch point. The second way is through engaging with action takers. At least that's a way that I like to call them, action takers. And that's either when someone comments on a post or someone engages on a post, like likes or whatever. And the third way is when you are doing follow-ups. Okay, so those 3 opportunity channels allow you to start an appointment setting cadence that ultimately to a sales call. Make sense? And the beauty, and then just so in case you're wondering, okay, but why should I use a Facebook group, is that all of these people are already pre-sold and nurtured and know, like, and trust you already. Make sense? So this is why this is so powerful. That out of the way, let me just explain really, really quickly, guys. When it comes to the new members, the first thing that we gotta do is pretty straightforward. All new group members who actually join your Facebook group will get a DM from you, okay? Period. It doesn't matter if they say yes or they say no to your membership questions. Of course, you want to prioritize the yeses. And in order to do so, refer back to not the previous, but the video that was before that one, where I talk about how you can set up the Facebook group so that you can prime yourself to get clients from it. And our KPI is just booking sales calls with 15% of all new group members who join in the first week after they join, okay? Which is just the normal rate that we've seen across the board. So if you're booking calls with 18+% of group members, that's great. With 10 to 17% of group members, that's actually okay. That's actually on KPI. And you're booking below 10%, that's bad. Okay, so you want to either change your appointment setting scripts or improve your appointment setting skills in general, because that means that there's something that needs to be fixed. Make sense? To learn how to go about the conversations, go to the appointment setting module and the document that I will be leaving in the actual master result folder inside of my Facebook group to actually learn the combo conversational structure that we use to book meetings, okay? So again, this is the first way, by actually messaging new members, okay? And just so you know, the process can be something like this. It could be like, hey, name, just added you to my Facebook group, welcome in, send, okay, send. By the way, noticed you said yes about wanting more info on XXS that you sell. By the way, this thing is something that you're going to set up via the membership questions in the previous video that I mentioned. How about if we hop on a quick 10-15 minute chat? Mind if I give you a call? Let's say out of 10 people, 3 or 4 say yes, then what you gotta do is call them maybe on Messenger over there on Facebook. If they say yes and they're in the chat. If they replied yesterday night while you were not in the DMs, maybe you can send them the calendar link, etc. So that's how you can book trash calls super simply and start booking meetings. Okay, super simple, but very, very fucking powerful. Okay, that's the first way. Second way is action takers, and this is what I call the hand raise. So just so you guys know, whenever you have a content piece, a piece of content, maybe it's one of the pieces of content in your bad section, maybe it's one of your micro VSLs, maybe it's a 2-step post, whatever, you're going to get likes and you're going to get comments. Okay, so these are some screenshots of some posts inside of my group. So if I get 102 comments, that's 102 leads. Okay, if I have 31 likes and loves and whatever reaction, those people are also leads that I can now start appointment setting flows with. And I can be like, hey man, thank you for liking my piece of my YouTube video on whatever topic the content piece was. Just curious, man, are you currently using YouTube to get clients? I don't know, something like that, right? Whatever the script you want to use, whatever the content was about, you want to have some context, but hopefully you get my point, okay? So that's just the second way in which you can actually unleash appointment setters. And all of this leads back to your follow-ups, okay? Because like anything that is appointment booking related, this will be your bread and butter and what you will do most of your time while converting attention into a call. If you have 1 hour to set appointments, you will use 45 minutes following up and 15 minutes messaging new leads. Remember, not everyone will buy, but everybody can be helped. And this is the follow-up mindset that you need to have whenever you're doing follow-ups, of course, right? And I divide that follow-up process in 2 main types of actions that you can take: short-term and long-term. Okay, so short-term follow-ups and long-term follow-ups. And just so you know, you're going to book most of your calls in the short-term follow-ups, but most of your sales calls that actually end up as deals won are going to come from your long-term follow-ups, okay? So for the short-term follow-ups, it's pretty straightforward. With our community monetization strategy, we'll have what I call a front-loaded follow-up sequence. What that means is that we will combine most of the sales power at the beginning and leave the content to do the heavy lifting for people in the long term. Simply put, this is the follow-up cadence that you want to use for your Facebook group members. Let's say that somebody joins today. Actually, let me use a pencil from here. Let's say that I joined your Facebook group today. So this is day 1. Then the first follow-up is going to be the same day, but in the afternoon. Okay, so what I do as part of my SOP is that in the afternoon, I do the first follow-up. Then 24 hours after, I do a second follow-up. Then 2 days after, the third one. Then 3 days after, the fourth one. And lastly, 1 week after, the fifth one. This is in total 6 touch points that I have per prospect, okay? And after the 6 touch points are done, what I like to do is actually keep doing the follow-ups, but in the long term. Make sense? Super, super simple. And just so you guys know, look at this. Actually, let me take this out. I actually have inside of my master CRM an entire tab just on my Facebook group members. And you can see, like, as an actual example, you can see all of the people that say reoffer, by the way, are people I already had calls with. Okay, so these are calls, book call, closed, etc., 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 etc. You see, like, this strategy works, and you can book a shit ton of calls with this process. Okay, super, super simple. So this is the way we go around it. After the 5th follow-up, we keep track of the follow-ups recent dates in here. After the 5th follow-up, what I do is that I take the date out of the follow-up so that I know that they go into the long-term nurturing cadence. And what the long-term nurturing cadence means is simply that we're going to keep following up with them, but maybe once per month. And you just sending them an asset, resource. If they actually engage with something, you can also talk with them, but it's more about having them being nurtured by the content so that they buy from you later on, okay? So for the short terms, you can see the follow-ups I use is something like this. So like question mark, bump, an inspector. Hey, just curious about what I sent you earlier. Probably life got in the way. Hey, dude, just making sure this doesn't get buried. Just bumping this up to the top of your inbox, etc. Don't copy these, use them as ideas. If you're starting out, you need to put in the effort in your follow-ups more than I do. I actually don't need to dedicate too many time in all of my leads because I get a lot of leads. What you could do instead is, if you don't have that many leads, maybe you want to do 7 or 8 follow-ups per group member. Make sense? And instead of just doing text, you might send voice notes, or you might send videos that are pre-recorded so that people are more likely to engage. Make sense? So that's the first way to go around it. The next way is the long-term follow-ups, like I was saying. And what you want to do is schedule 1.5 to 2 hours once per week to focus only on these leads. And what you want to do is follow up and keep track of your reoffers, your no-buys, your no-shows, and your all group members in that order. Okay, so first of all, people who you had sales calls in the previous week or 2 weeks, so that you can give them maybe another offer that they might be able to buy, avoid any objection that they might have. Then your no-buys, people who actually didn't buy, of course. Then your no-shows, and then your all group members. If you think about it, your oldest leads are the ones who are have been marketed the most, and these are the precise leads that are the ones that are more often neglected by businesses. So make sure to actually use them, or actually take advantage of them to get more clients. Don't make that mistake, of course, like not reaching out to your oldest leads. That's why tracking leads on the CRM is such a key part of running a company. And generally speaking, enterprise value of a business is often decided by the pipeline value in that sales manager's control, okay? So make sure to actually keep track of all of those leads in that CRM for you to actually get clients and get a lot of book calls. That said, guys, if you want to get access to that master CRM, make sure to join my free Facebook group and answer all the questions for us to give you access to that. And if you want to do business with us, there's a link in the description that you can check out. If you don't, no worries. I just hope that this video was helpful and hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye.